Did she just say sex? Yes, I did. And I think the problem is a lot of us were told not to talk about it before we were even taught what we were actually asking. But the thing about humans is curiosity does not go away, it just goes somewhere else. And for a lot of us, we actually learnt what the world called sex before we even learnt the truth about what God says about it. Sexual desire is not to be demonized because, let's be real, God created sex. Sex is not a man made construct, it's not a worldly concept. God literally created sex. So, how can something God created be bad? Sex is not inherently bad, by the way. Sex is only bad, in quotation marks, when it's used outside of God's intention, and God's intention for it was covenant. And I think for a lot of us Christians, we know that we shouldn't have sex outside of marriage, but we don't know the why. We know the what, but we don't know the why. And this podcast is going to be us exploring the why together. I'm no sex professional. I'm quite literally just a Christian girl who had questions, didn't get answers, looked in spaces that did not reflect God's truth, and now I want to bridge the gap between Christians and talking about sex. It shouldn't be something that's so taboo. It shouldn't be something that we're afraid to talk about. We should be liberated in talking about it because it's something God created. So, on this platform, we're going to be treating sex as an umbrella and looking at everything under that. Not just sex in its physical capacity, but also emotionally, spiritually, mentally, because there's so much more that goes into sex than we think. When thinking of this podcast, I don't have like a specific face or person that this is for. One thing I will say is every episode might not be for you, but there will be an episode for you. Whether you're single, married, waiting, abstinent, virgin, not a virgin, queer, quite literally anything, this podcast is going to be a space where you are going to feel seen. As well as that, this podcast is going to be a mix of culture and doctrine because I don't just want to focus on the culture side of sex, but I don't want to neglect what the Bible says. And at the same time, I don't want to Bible bash and say don't have sex before marriage because that's not enough. There's going to be solo episodes of just myself, and I'm going to be spilling the tea on my life because I have been through some things. And in later episodes, I am going to have a plethora of guests, being my sisters, my friends, spiritual leaders, people who work in the sex profession like sex psychologists, and just people that are able to help us really navigate what this is and what God has called us to see it as. So follow Did She Just Say Sex on Instagram, on YouTube, and also literally anywhere you listen to your podcasts. This has been a long time coming, and I'm excited, nervous, scared, terrified, all at the same time. But I do really believe that God is calling me to bridge the gap between Christians and talking about sex because it's really important. And who am I to ignore God's call? So, this is Did She Just Say Sex? Episode 1 is coming real soon. And yes, we are really, really gonna go there.